Hey everybody, Aaron Fisher here, and today I'm going to show you another easy, powerful trick that you can start performing for your friends almost immediately and get miracle class reactions without using any skill at all. Now, that doesn't mean that because you don't have to do any sleights to get the effect that you don't have to do anything at all. In fact, if you want to start making sure that you can create real miracles without doing a lot of technical sleight of hand, it's extra important that you use your mind, that you create magic tricks which are so well designed and so well covered, or at least that you get access to magic tricks that are so well designed and so well covered, which is kind of my job, is making sure that magic tricks are so well built that the misdirection and the deception is built right into the structure. If you can do that, you can really start to amaze people long before you ever develop any serious technical skill, and in fact you may decide that you don't even need that much technical skill at all beyond the basics just to create that level of miracle. So this is a trick that I have been recently doing with brand new students so that they can see the power of the effect up close and personal. So I'm just going to give these cards just a little bit of a mix, just so we can get going. And it's going to be very simple. And some of this may seem familiar to you if you've already seen some of these tutorials, because what I'm trying to do is show you how to apply one simple idea to create literally so many effects that you could have an entire magic show out of it. And so that's what we're going to talk about right now. Very simple fact. I'm going to shuffle through the cards like this, and whenever you want, you're going to say stop, and that's going to be your card. Now, to be fair, it's not going to be quite exactly like that. We're not just going to look at the card like that. I'm going to close my eyes, and when you say stop, just you are going to look at the card. So say stop. Look at the card. Make sure you know what it is. In fact, picture that card in your mind. Make it a very clear picture so that you know exactly what it is. Picture how many spots are on it, or if there's a picture like a jack or queen or king, I want you to picture his face or her face or the letter or the number, but make sure that you've got that card clearly in your mind. Do you have it? That's very important, and in this case, we would even let you give these cards a little bit of a shuffle. Now is where we have a test of your imagination. What you have to be able to do is imagine, as I pull your card out of the pack, can you see it? Can you see it? In your mind, say the name of that card to yourself over and over and over again. Five of hearts, five of hearts, five of hearts, five of hearts. See, I could tell your imagination is good. You could see it well enough that I can see it, but that's just the beginning. Here, what I want you to do is take your first finger and pull that five of hearts out of the deck. Bam. Now let me ask you a question. Do you have it? Are you sure you have it? Look at it. Make sure that you know. Is it face up or is it face down? Well, that's very important because I'm going to show you something really amazing right now. You see, inside my wallet, I have the potential for magic. If you will give me that card, okay, and I will drop it right through that wallet, you're not going to believe what you're going to find in there. You could have picked any card. You could have said stop any time. You could have imagined any card at all. But literally, because of your imagination, one card, and one card only, has literally jumped into my wallet. And that's an amazing thing if you think about it, right? Because you really could have said stop on any single one of these cards, and yet you didn't. Your card isn't in there, is it? And they say, no, of course it isn't. Because your card that you so clearly imagined is right here. And that's the five of hearts. What a simple, powerful, amazing a trick. Now, you know, people who've been doing magic a long time will tell you, well, in order for a card to go to the wallet and be believable, it's got to be signed. A corner's got to be ripped off. Magicians start thinking about all sorts of proof, all sorts of ways that things could be stronger and better and deeper. And it all comes from the idea that they've been doing magic a very long time, and they've seen 1,000 cards go to the wallet, and in order for them to get off when they see a card go to the wallet, something new's got to happen, something more convincing and more powerful. But if you can cleanly and clearly make a person believe that they have a free selection, and then you can clearly make that card appear somewhere else, and of course it's not in the deck at all, it doesn't get much clearer than that. In fact, at that point, if you wanted to begin to routine yourself stronger and stronger effects, then you would begin to add details that require more skill, like a signed card or a card with a corner ripped off and stuff like that. But what I teach this trick to new students for is so that they can see what kind of a miracle class effect you can get with hardly any skill at all, but you do need to learn showmanship. And for many of those students, I teach them to do it as a card to shoe. I'm not going to do a card to shoe today. I'm just going to show you a very simple method so that you can start doing this trick immediately with the skills that you have right now and just a little bit of courage and a little bit of what we call brass. So here's what happens. Take this card out of this deck, this 5 of hearts, and leave it in your wallet like so. It doesn't have to do anything much. I just place it in my right back pocket. And it can go out of any pocket. It doesn't really matter. The key, really, as Ricky Jay said all those years ago, is leading with your head. You have to know what you're going to do, how you're going to get into it, so that the whole thing seems to be a spontaneous miracle. That's one of the most wonderful things that learning to do card tricks can do, that a professional magician has a much harder time with. Because when a professional magician is on, he's on. Everything's got to be ready to set to go. There can be no spaces or gaps or lapses in attention or perception. My job is to show you how to leverage the fact that you haven't been doing this very long to create magical experiences far in excess, right, of what you might think that your skill would allow you to accomplish. So then you have that rest of the deck with no 5 of hearts in it, and I literally place it in my back pocket. Just like that. Just like that in my back pocket. You're going to see everything is so totally covered, it works beautifully. Now, this is the deck you started with. And it is a regular deck in every way, including the fact that it's got a 5 of hearts in it. So as you go through the cards have been shuffled, go through the cards, and when you see that 5 of hearts, without giving it a moment's thought, break the deck there at that 5 of hearts, right? Turn your attention to somebody and gesture to them as you complete the cut. So now that 5 of hearts is on the face of the pack, right? Turn someplace else, gesture to someone else with your other hand, and you can turn that deck over like that. Don't be uptight if it takes you a little while to get comfortable with that sort of thing. When I work with students on a regular basis, it normally takes a few rounds of us practicing it together very, very slowly to make these simple things be perfectly covered so that no one ever notices a thing. But right now, you've got your 5 of hearts on the bottom of the deck. And if you're using your overhand shuffle, which you can learn from Pathways, of course, or as I'm teaching you right now, kick the cards up to overhand shuffle. Start to mix the cards, make sure everyone can see that they're mixed. And as you get to the end, just toss the bottom cards onto the bottom of the deck. Very easy to do. You just kick those cards back with your fingers and then drop. And then you're ready to go. So you now have your force card on the bottom of the deck, which is exactly where you want it to be. Remember the setup. Remember Vernon's wonderful setup that makes that Hindu shuffle force so deceptive. I used to hate the Hindu shuffle force. I used to think it was obvious until I learned that when you pull from the middle and you say stop, and now look, we're going to look at that card. Now, it doesn't matter whether you say stop soon or if you wait a while, but whenever you say stop, we're going to look at the card that you say stop at. It's going to be a little different. I'm not going to look this time, so say stop anytime you want. I'll close my eyes. Perfect. Now look at that card. And of course, that's our force card. Focus on it. Picture it in your mind, the number of spots, if there's a jack, a queen, or a king. And of course, folks, I'm saying all those things to make it clear that I don't know whether it's an ace or a jack or a king or any kind of card. I'm just making sure it feels like a nice free choice, okay? I leave the card in the pack, like so. I haven't looked. I let other people shuffle if they want. And I ask who's going to have the imagination that's going to help me with this trick, because you need to have a good imagination. I need to have someone who can really picture that card. So if I pretend to leave that card sticking out of the deck. Can you see it? Wait for a person to go, yeah, all right, I see it. And if they say they won't see it, if they won't play along, you say, listen, bro, this is magic. If you're not willing to have an imagination for 30 seconds in order to see some magic, I can't help you, man. I don't know what you think magic is. And then they go, oh yeah, I guess that's probably pretty true. So concentrate on the card. Look at it. Say the name of it in your mind over and over and over again. 5 of hearts, 5 of hearts, 5 of hearts, 5 of hearts. Now this is an incredibly powerful trick, and frankly, you could have ended the whole show that way. But in this case, what I use it for, the reason I use it here instead of just to end the whole show, is because I feel like it's a wonderful hit. It's a wonderful way for people to realize this isn't all just BS. This isn't all just hokum. Some magic just happened. And now I say, take that card, 2 fingers, and pull that card right out of the deck. Hold it in your hand. Turn it over. Make sure that you can see the backs, make sure that you can see the faces, because all I need for this trick is that invisible card clearly in your hand where you can see it. There is one other thing that I need. Now this is where it gets fun and where it gets interesting. Remember, you've got that other deck on the left side of your pocket. When I go back behind my pocket, I'm going to get something new. Never underestimate the power of bringing something new into the mix. Look at that, it's new, it's a wallet. In fact, I emptied this hand so that I could take it with my left hand and display it. What happens here is I've introduced the wallet, I've introduced where the magic's gonna happen, but I've also de-introduced that card case. I've made it unimportant. You're holding the card in your hand, and no one ever notices that the deck is out of play, and that's really, really important. So I take that card from them, and I take it and I put it in my hand and I drop it right through the wallet, just like that. Now at this point, no amount of skill or lack of skill can make up for the fact that what really matters to making this moment count is that you have a twinkle in your eye. Because when you say, watch carefully, that, my friend, is the moment of the effect. That's the moment that everyone is focused on. At that moment, you can either have them turn the card over, you can relax, you can take the proper deck with no 5 of hearts and drop it on the table. No one's going to pay attention because somehow a card has ended up in this wallet that couldn't possibly be there. When I feel like gilding the lily, I will occasionally say, now look, man, you could have picked any card. You could have done anything you want. You could just end the trick here and leave the deck on the table, and then people will, as they will, go through the deck and see that there is no 5 of hearts. And that's totally up to them. But sometimes, now that I'm so far ahead, I'll take the deck out and I'll say, look, you could have picked any one of these cards, but you didn't. You picked the 5 of hearts, and oddly enough, that's the one that's not here, which means that the only card this could be, and of course in this case the card is still face down, is your card, the 5 of hearts. What a beautiful trick. What a simple method. It allows you to make a card go into your shoe or into your wallet or into a sealed envelope using all of the same method that we just gave you and very little skill. The only skill you need to learn is how to draw the audience's attention toward the new elements and new objects of the effect. Right? And so when I work with my students, yes, we work on technique, and there are certain fundamental techniques and controls, reverses, basic switches that you want to be able to accomplish in order to take these tricks and turn them into miracles. But what we really want to focus on, where we keep the big picture, is in using those techniques and that misdirection in the context of powerful effects that make sure you get a great reaction and truly amaze everybody with the work that you're doing. So if you have any questions about this or any of the other magic you've seen me do, or even if you just have an idea or a question that you'd like to see me do some content on in the future, please email me. I'm Aaron at AaronFisherMagic.com. And if you want to find out how working with me can help you get further and faster and accomplish your goals in magic more effectively and with more fun than you ever thought possible, come see me for a new student special lesson. We get together, we talk about what your goals might be, or even what the goals are that you have that you're afraid to even announce yourself. And we will talk about how those goals, no matter how crazy, can be broken up into a series of small, attainable goals so that your technique improves, your misdirection soars, your ability to choose, practice, and master effects goes through the roof, and you can begin in record time to start loving the magic that you do. So my name's Aaron Fisher. I look forward to seeing you very, very soon. And thank you so much for watching.